Welcome back to AutoCrit's Coffee Break. I'm your host, Bekah Brinkmeier. I am a best-selling romance author, author coach at AutoCrit, writing instructor at AutoCrit, wearer of so many different hats when it comes to publishing. One of my favorites, though, is being able to host this show on our YouTube channel. I am perpetually curious about what our AutoCrit Pro community is up to, and now I get to know because I get to welcome them on and chat with all of y'all. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Beatrice, who is our guest today. Hi, Beatrice.
Hi, Becca.
I would love it if you would like to introduce yourself to our audience and let us know a little bit about who you are as an author, what inspires you, what genre you write on. Share all the things.
Okay. What inspires me? Life inspires me. Um, right now, I am writing, I just put out, I just put out my debut novel, Who Said Forever. I am writing two books at the same time, a rom-com and a romantic suspense, because you got to keep on your toes. I did not come into writing early in the game. I'm a senior. I started writing when my children were young, and then I became a single mom, and I had to put that manuscript on the shelf. And then the pandemic came, and I got pretty darn sick and tired of doing a word search. And I said, why am I doing this? Let's pick that book back up. Because when you're having a pandemic, you must have something else in your life that's traumatic. I got breast cancer. So I said, okay, I can keep on plugging along. And I plugged along through that. I'll add to that I have dyslexia and I am crippled with arthritis in my hands. So it was a challenge. But I think all of us should attempt to overcome the challenges that we can. There's some we're not able to. So I persevered and I got my book, my debut novel, into print. It's on Amazon now and my local Barnes and Noble. It's on Barnes and Noble in paperback only online.
Amazing. There is a lot that you have you've worked on this book for a long time. You have poured a lot into creating this book. How did it feel the first time you saw it for sale?
Actually, it was kind of surreal, and I felt very humbled too to be up on the Amazon screen with all the bestsellers. It's feeling. I'm not a egotistical person. I was really humbled by it. I felt very good about that I was able to accomplish, even as I said, late in the game, because it
Mhm.
was very late for me. It was over 20 years for me from when I started writing it until I got it. But I was determined. Honestly, I when I found out I had cancer, I was on a 6 month holding period because there was no room in the hospital, and I didn't even know if I was going to live. So I said, well, darn it, I'm going to write this book, and this is nothing else. The book is going to be written well now that whatever happens to me.
Wow. I think that is such a vivid example of the stories that live within us, isn't it? That we are storytellers, and this was a story that you have carried for over 20 years, and you brought it to life and you put it out there and you persevered through everything that you've had to persevere through. And this story saw the light because of you. And I think that that is something that we should all be celebrating. I think that's a wonderful thought when we look at our own work because it can be surreal. I was overcome with a lot of emotion the first time I held a paperback and I found it in our bookstore. The first time I realized that my book is sitting on the shelf somewhere. You can't bottle up that feeling. You just have to kind of let it sink in. So I would love to celebrate your book being out and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about the process that we all have to go through, which is editing. Sometimes it can feel overwhelming, sometimes it's exciting. What was editing like for you as you brought this book to market?
Well, before I started using all the wonderful programs out there, AutoCrit being one, I I was muddling along through Grammarly, which was wonderful. Grammarly for
Mm.
spelling errors is great. And then I hired a local editor in my community. And I guess if you're buying cheap, you get cheap. Because
Mm.
by the time she got the manuscript back to me, and then I read it over, there was a ton of errors that, of course, I missed the first time. But when I read it over, I don't want to find more errors that she missed. So
Mhm.
I must say that I'm much more seasoned now in knowing how to use AutoCrit and all the options that it offers me to find errors and repetitiveness. So I'm thrilled for when I get to the end of my next novel, and I'll be looking at it exclusively.
Amazing. I think one of the features that I use the most is probably the story analyzer because I like to look at my book from a chapter by chapter perspective as well as a whole because sometimes it's important to make sure that I have those plot threads that are all the way through the conflict through lines. And as someone else who also writes romance, we want to make sure that we have that crescendo that goes all the way up with the conflict and how my main couple are getting to that feeling of falling in love. Do you have a favorite report? I always like to ask people this. Do you have a favorite
Really, I
feature?
was blown away when I did this analysis, like you're talking
Hmm.
about, and the last paragraph, and I'm going to boast. It said this is an exemplary example of romance and da da da. I said, holy crap, exemplary! I said
Yeah.
my book was exemplary. And then when I moved on to Market Fuel, it
Hmm.
was even better because it gave me the comparison of other authors that this work was similar to. Oh, I do enjoy on AutoCrit when I'm doing my writing in there, the analysis by genre, and you
Hmm.
can select a bestseller author, and you can do some comparison. And yeah, I was very happy with that because a lot of my chapters I was coming in 90%, and which made me feel very
Amazing.
good.
Yes, that's fantastic. You know, I love Market Fuel so much. I've talked about it previously on the channel. It saves an incredible amount of time because you're able to look at some of those similar books. You're able to use that to inform what your comp titles are. You're able to, do everything from looking at title is are you going to go with a trope-centric title or not? Are you going to look at your target audience? Are you going to look at lead magnet ideas? It's all in one place to help you build that foundation for your marketing. And I think that's fantastic. So I'm a fan.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a lifetime member.
That's the way to do it. You get all of the toys and never have to pay again.
Yes, that's the only thing in life I never have to pay again for.
Well, we're not going to limit you. Run as many as you want. Well, I would love to open the floor to you, Beatrice, to pitch why we should pick up your book the next time we're shopping around Amazon. So I want you to pretend that we just met at a coffee shop in real life. We're chatting about our books, which I am positive we would be doing because I definitely avidly read in your genre as well as write in it. So we have a lot to talk about. What should we know to make sure that a Beatrice Parquet book is the next book that we pick up?
Well, if you're looking for a mix in romance of the romance, adventure, suspense, and the will there be a happy ever after, and who will she land up with? Because this is a bit of a triangle.
Ooh.
So, what we have is Cassandra, who's not keen on men after she dumped her cheating fiance last year. So, what happens? She doesn't meet one man, she meets two. And to add to it, one is a politician, her lieutenant governor, and the other one is an out of town rancher. Well,
Oh.
things get kind of messy. and she finds herself facing an unexpected pregnancy or the proposal of marriage as marriage of convenience to the politician. So if you want to know who she lands up with, or if she gets the man she wants or the man she needs, you need to read Who Said Forever.
Well, I love the sound of this because you've just ticked all the boxes. I've got a triangle going. I've got it to be a little bit messy. We've got some unpredictability. We have the romance, a little bit of suspense, a little bit of rom-com. Sign me up, Beatrice. This sounds fantastic.
You know where to find it. Amazon, and for that's the ebook
Mhm.
and paperback, and it's also in large print on Amazon. And on Barnes and Noble, only the paperback is available right now online.
Go ahead and check out her work. It will be linked below in the caption. I just want to thank you, Beatrice, for joining me today for this coffee break. It has been an absolute delight to chat with you about your work and to hear your insights and your story. So thank you for joining me.
I thank you for having me, Bekah. I consider it a pleasure and
I'm
an
so
honor.
I'm so glad to hear that. To everyone who is listening, thank you for joining us for yet another coffee break. If you haven't written today, consider this your friendly reminder that you should probably get some words in. And I will see you at the next one. Bye.
Bye.